This is Sonic the Hedgehog. This is also Sonic the Hedgehog. And this, and this, and this. You see where I'm going here? Sonic's design is known to go through a lot of changes. At one point, we had a new Sonic design with basically every single game. Add on to that different movies, TV shows, and spin-offs, and Sonic the Hedgehog was basically anything you could imagine. And understandably, some fans were upset because they preferred a design that was in one game but had never returned before. And this led to countless arguments and discussions on the internet, and is one of the most prevalent topics of contention today, Sonic's current design. As for the past several years, Sonic has stuck to a pretty consistent design, other than that one time in 2014 in which he didn't. But is this new overall consistency with Sonic's design and brand a good thing? Or should we go back to the old way of having a new Sonic every now and again, just to spice things up a bit? Has Sonic's current design grown stale? And for a lot of people, it has, but that's what I'm here to discuss today. For the most part, for the last several years, Sonic has stuck to this one consistent model, the modern Sonic design, which has been used ever since, I want to say, about Shadow the Hedgehog. It's been used in everything from the games, to renders, to promotional material, and a lot of people have thought that it's grown quite a bit stale, because Sega rarely changes it up, and the quality of the renders hasn't really been improving. Sonic the Hedgehog can be really cool when it's executed properly, and these two renders have been painting him in a sort of mellowed out light, taking away that bit of personality that he had for his entire existence. But the thing is, just because the renders aren't exciting, that doesn't mean the design itself is bad, and I actually really like the modern Sonic design. In fact, the design used from Sonic Generations and Sonic Unleashed is actually my favorite Sonic design of all time. So I think the issue doesn't lie with Sonic's fundamental design in his modern day, but obviously you can have preferences to the adventure design or even the classic design. I think the issue rather is that they don't utilize his expressiveness enough, which leads us to renders like this one. And this, in conjunction with the environment reuse that Sega's been doing for the recent games, has led to this design growing quite a bit stale. But going into more detail, there's still a lot to love about the current modern Sonic design. But in order to figure out what makes modern Sonic's design so likable to me, we have to go over what makes a Sonic design good in general, by looking at all the previous designs. First and foremost, I believe a Sonic design needs to be expressive. Sonic as a character always relied on expressing himself, whether it was through his gameplay, his animations, or his design. Just having a good character design can make emotional moments hit so much harder when the character actually has a tangible reaction to it. This obviously relies on the animations as well, but I think a good character design is part of it too. All of the CGI scenes that people keep praising for Sonic Frontiers, Forces, Unleashed, all of those work because of Sonic's character designs on top of having amazing animation done by Marza or whoever has done it that time. But when you look at the in-game cutscenes for Sonic Frontiers, you can see that some corners were cut when expressing him. But the caveat being that it's not because of his design, it's actually because of the poor animation quality. Another key thing for a good Sonic design is to stay simple. Sonic's character design for the very beginning was just a cartoony, over-exaggerated hedgehog, just like Mickey Mouse before him. His design is perfectly simple, and you can see everything about Sonic from his attitude to his ability to roll in the previous games. A needless overcomplication of Sonic's design, like the Sonic Boom designs, which add unnecessary design elements, are bound to go over poorly because they seemingly misunderstand what the character was originally. And to an extent I agree, the Sonic Boom designs are by no means my favorite, even if they're not that bad overall. And lastly, I just think that Sonic needs to fit in with his environment. In a game like Sonic Generations, the sort of Pixar-style Sonic Unleashed design really worked because that game blended realism and cartooniness to a nice degree. But the same design just doesn't work in Sonic Forces and Sonic Lost World because those games cranked up the cartooniness while abandoning the realism that Sonic Generations and Unleashed went for, resulting in a model that felt slightly out of place. But just like in Frontiers, where the realism has been cranked up to the maximum, Sonic also doesn't feel like he fits in because they didn't edit the model enough to make him work. Ideally, I think the modeling team and the team designing the environment should work together to make sure that Sonic looks as good as he possibly can in the new environment that they have set in the next game. Because visual cohesion between the game's environments and the model itself can make for a really nice contrast. The Sonic Adventure 2 design and environments demonstrate this perfectly, and even though SA2's design isn't my favorite for Sonic, I still do think it works with the game's environment, and they work really well together to create a nice visual style. I think with some slight tweaks to fit into the environment more, some better quality renders, and an overall more confident and cool air to him, the modern Sonic design can really work. So I don't think we need a design change, but what if we did get one? What would I want Sonic's new design to look like? Starting with the shoes, I'd actually keep them the way that they are right now, because I really like the modern shoes. I don't care. I know the soap shoes are really popular, but I still have always preferred these shoes. Something about them just looks more sharp and just better. I really can't explain it, it's just a personal preference. As for Sonic himself, there's a design from someone who goes by Marcus Larry. Now, I'm not sure where their socials are, I can't credit them in the description, but I actually really like this design. It combines the curviness of modern Sonic, the simplicity of classic Sonic's design, and attributes of modern Sonic's design for a perfect combination of the three. It's nicely stylized, it's customizable to fit into more environments, and I just think it looks really nice. It has attitude, it has style, it has everything that a Sonic design should have. So if they ever change it up, I do think a design like this should be what they go for, combining the best elements of all the designs, instead of stripping away everything from one design and starting over again. But now that we're here, you guys tell me what your favorite Sonic design is. There's a lot of different designs in this franchise, and I'm sure all of them have their fans. I just happen to be a fan of the modern Sonic design, and I hope that Sega starts to utilize this design more and more effectively, so we can get more interesting products from this franchise, whether that be games or promotional material. Sonic should be cool, and everyone should be able to see that, but unfortunately I don't think the animation quality or the render quality is up to par yet. But we should get there soon. Sonic Frontiers is doing better than ever, now at 3.5 million units sold, making it one of the best-selling Sonic games of all time. On top of that and the success of the movies, Sonic is better than ever. But also, he should look the part. So that's it for me, Devron, signing off.